I also went down a rabbit hole because I saw a video of somebody talking about, now this is tying Jay-Z in, but
that hurts my heart too.
I know, oh no. Blue Cantrell, do you remember her?
Hit 'em up style,
Hit
yeah
'em
girl,
Up
I
Style.
remember.
I love that song.
I still love that song.
I did not know that supposedly they had a thing before he met Beyonce.
Okay.
And then
Which Beyonce, by the way, when they met was when she met Jay-Z and they started dating, she was
very
18, 19?
young. Yes.
A baby. An adult, but a baby.
And Jay-Z is much older. I mean, obviously.
He also had a thing with Aaliyah when she was a baby. Well, listen.
I can't with these men.
Carry on.
So anyway, years go by, and we've never heard another thing out of Blue Cantrell, have we?
No.
She did come out with a second album, but I don't remember it.
Mm-mm.
And one day she's wandering the streets of, I'm assuming LA, I forget which city she would have lived in then, saying, they poisoned me, and everybody thought she was crazy.
Oh, shit. There's a lot of conspiracies throating around. Ooh, lots of people were being throated, I think.
Deep throating around.
Oopsie doopsie. So outside of TikTok, where I'm initially seeing these videos of this conspiracy, his kids have come out, which are her kids, have come out and put out a statement saying, there's rumors of this book. My mom never wrote a book. This is not, the family is not in support of this, blah, 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 whatever. The only thing our mom ever did was she gave her writings to some close friends.
So there are writings.
There are writings, but they're saying these aren't it. And they're saying that someone put these out with essentially like a malicious intent, or not necessarily a malicious intent, but like unbeknownst to us. We weren't consulted, so we weren't able to give the real story.
Yeah. Now,
so they're trying to discredit this book. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I did see an interview with the guy who put the book out.
Okay.
He's not helping his case.
Uh-oh.
Because he put it out on Amazon, and it's obviously made him a ton of money at this point. And did
he self-publish?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he said, and I thought it was so weird that he said it this way. He was like, this is what was supposed to have happened a few years ago when he had some kind of inside scoop on something else. I don't think he said specifically what it was, but it was something kind of like this. He's like, it was supposed to have gone viral and it didn't. And I've been working really hard. And now this is finally like my chance. And like, I finally did it. Like I finally got something to go viral basically. And I was like,
okay. But do we think he maybe said that, but meant it in a way of like, this is finally going viral and I'm finally getting traction to expose what's happening? Like my intent was to get people's awareness? No.
Jesse even said that. He's like, isn't it like, don't you want like justice or like truth to come out? And he's like, he kept steering it back to like, this is my moment. And actually he said, this is not about Kim Porter. This is about whatever the his name is. Something Todd.
Okay.
Chris Todd? Calvin Todd? I don't know.
Something
Todd. But he actually said, this is not about Kim Porter. This is about, and then his own name. And I was like, dude, like you're not helping anything right here. Like it was strange.
Okay. So maybe the book is not super credible. However, everything that's coming out, because the book has been out since before his arrest.
Yes.
Maybe there's some truth to what's in there. Mm-hmm. And again, if these were based on her writings, obviously her perspective is going to be hers. So it's going to be biased. Just like if I wrote about my experiences, I can only write about my experiences from my perspective, right?
Yeah.
So like, but a lot of things seem to be lining up, fitting the puzzle pieces, maybe?
Right. Well, and that's the scary thing. Like, who had on their bingo card that in the year of our Lord 2024, we were the word freak-offs was going to be commonplace and in every household.
Disgusting, first of all. Almost as disgusting as having 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Okay, in all of my entire whole life of existence, the whole thing, birth to literally this very second, I don't think I've ever successfully used one full bottle of baby oil.
No.
I don't know how the baby oil business stays in business.
I honestly
Obviously,
don't
Diddy was
either.
keeping them
Well,
in business, but
yes, I've seen so many memes that are like Johnson & Johnson, now that they lost
their
Diddy,
number one
and it's like,
customer,
yeah, it's like,
they're gonna be bankrupt.
I will never financially recover from this,
Yeah.
from Tiger King. Like, yeah, because I honestly don't even know what you'd use it for. I know people used to use baby oil to get like tans in the like 70s and 80s.
Yeah. I don't
He also
I don't know.
his
I mean, I have some ideas of what you use it for.
His
But-
lawyer in the trying to get him out of jail thing was like, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. He's a bulk buyer. He bought them at Costco.
But
And then
Costco
Costco released a statement, was like, we don't even sell baby oil.
I was gonna say, I've never seen baby oil at Costco. Also, Costco is giving keep my wife's name.
Yes, they were like, don't.
They were like,
Do
no, sir,
not.
not today, Satan.
And also, okay, defense attorney, whatever your name is, let's play that out. Say he did get him at Costco. He didn't because they don't sell it, but say he did. Where's all your other bulk shopping items? I don't see 1,000 rolls of toilet paper. I don't see 1,000 rolls of paper towels.
Well, and part of their justification is he has multiple properties.
Yeah.
Okay. And?
Like, if you're such a bulk buyer, where's the rest of your bulk buying tendencies?
Unless you have 1,000 properties and you have one bottle of baby oil,
One bottle of baby oil at each
property,
yeah.
that even seems excessive, honestly.
Where, I wonder, were the 1,000, they weren't all found at one, but didn't they just search
I don't know.
2?
Yeah, I think they've only rated 2.
So best case scenario, 500
Maybe
at each.
they may have done 3, but
Okay.
either way,
333 at each. And like you said,
and one on his person.
and 20 in his car, and
Yeah.
because you never know.
You never know when the moment for a freak off might strike.
I mean,
When the crowd's assembled, you can't disappoint.
that's true.
You know.
Also, his old interviews.
I saw a resurfaced clip of him and Mike Tyson, maybe. And they're on a late night show. I'm pretty sure it's a late night show. And they're both like sitting on the couch. So like Diddy's in the corner, and he puts his hand, I want to say it's Mike Tyson. I might be wrong about that, but it's like he was an athlete. It was like a professional athlete. I'm almost positive it was Mike Tyson. Puts his hand on his thigh.
Yep.
And when I say thigh, I mean his upper thigh.
Real close.
Yeah. And Mike just like literally lifts his hand up, drops his hand back in his lap, and like scoots over. And they're like bringing up 50 Cent again. There are old interviews with him popping up about him being like, we don't fuck with Diddy.
And they say, like, his old interviews are like, when Diddy asks you to party, you have to tell him no.
Yeah.
And there are multiple celebrities that say that say, if Diddy's asking you to party, you got to tell him no, because he's going to keep at you. He's not going to let you go. I forget whose interview I saw, and they were like, they said something about, he'll keep trying, blah, blah, blah. And so the guy interviewing him was like, he wasn't on camera, but he was like, oh, so like if you have a new girlfriend, don't bring her to Diddy's. And he's like, you can bring her.
Oh,
he doesn't want her.
You're talking about Orlando Brown.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take the bitch, but he won't you.
He'll pass your girl around. He doesn't care about her. He wants nothing to do with her. But
he wants you.
You better not go.
Yep.
And I just thought it was very interesting that for a hot second, we were like, these are the ramblings of a crazy man. And now we're looking at him like, maybe my man was onto something.
I mean, do we collectively owe Kanye an apology?
Hell no. That man is trash.
Okay. I mean,
for other reasons.
Yeah, but he did say some stuff, didn't he?
About Diddy?
I thought.
He might have. If he does, I will forgive him for that.
Okay.
I won't forgive him for the rest of literally fucking everything in his existence. It hurts my heart because I skip his songs. I don't like a lot of his songs anyways, but now I try to skip them, but now I'm going to have to skip Jay-Z songs too, and I love Jay-Z.
I know. I really did love Jay-Z, and I do still love Usher. I'm feeling concerned. He deleted his entire Twitter.
He did. So also, Pink deleted her entire Twitter, but did you see that she came out because people were like, oh my God, Usher and Pink have deleted their whole Twitter after
she
this.
Deleted hers.
She put out a statement that said, actually, if you go back and look, I deleted my entire Twitter on, I think she said like January 6th or February, something like
It was a long time
well
ago.
before this. And she was like, I'm not associated and I won't be ever, basically.
Yeah. And she's just like, I did not need the negativity anymore. And she deleted it way
No.
before. Usher deleted his like last week.
Yeah, because his name allegedly has been floating around with this, and people know that he was he was Diddy's protege for forever.
Yes, yeah. And so I saw something that Emily Baker said, and she was like, deleting his Twitter, a lot of people think it's because he doesn't want the feds to see whatever.
Yeah.
They're going to get all that from Twitter.
No.
They keep all of whatever. I'm calling it Twitter.
I call it Twitter too.
They're going to get all that from them. They can get all of that. It's all still there. What he was probably deleting it for is because people are now going back through and they're going to start finding all these things.
It's not a good look.
Diddy's defense is all, he's not dangerous. That was the victim named in the sex trafficking is one victim. There's not even more listed. And that victim was in a loving long-term relationship with him. And all the evidence that we're going to provide is going to show that they were in a loving long-term relationship. Bitch, do y'all not know the Intercontinental Hotel video is out? We watched him drag her ass, beat her, and like all this stuff. So I don't, and they're like, that's not sex trafficking. That's, she loved him. They loved each other, and blah, blah, blah.
But let's say they were in a loving long-term relationship, right? Obviously, to the outside, that doesn't look like love. But so let's say they're right. This is a loving long-term relationship. What we do know is how he behaves now in a loving and long-term relationship. And if you love me and you're willing to beat the shit out of me in a public place. What the hell are you willing to do to people that you don't give a shit about in private?
Exactly. And if you watch that video, so I follow this guy. His name is Spidey. His channel is called The Behavioral Arts. And he's like, he analyzes behavior and stuff like that. He's like a mentalist, and he travels and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, he's very interesting. But he did a video on that whole thing, and he doesn't show that video. But it's out there. You can see it just about anywhere. But he said what really struck him about it were a couple things, because, some people are like, oh, he flew into a rage. We don't know what she said before. All that kind of stuff.
I don't care what I say to you.
No. And he said, but if you watch the video, you see him chasing her down, and he's just in a towel, but he has the presence of mind to hold that towel to prevent embarrassment, right? Yeah. And he was talking about like our hierarchy of needs and how, like our basic needs are like food, shelter, water, love, blah, blah, blah. Embarrassment is like way down the line. So he's not in some kind of fight or flight, or he's thinking about something that is not a basic need at that point.
Yeah.
He also talks about how when he's attacking her, she's not fighting back. She's being still. She's not moving.
Yeah.
And he is...
That seems like a learned behavior of if I just take it, it'll be over faster.
It'll be over
I don't want to
faster.
make it worse for myself.
He said at no point does he strike her, grab her, whatever, and she goes, oh my gosh, you just hit me. Or there's no surprise there.
Here.
There's no...
Yeah.
And at no point does he, at any point in the attack, go, oh my gosh, what did I do to you?
Yeah.
Are you okay? He just he throws a vase at her. He sits down. And then he freaking bribes the guy who comes up there that works
to delete the video.
Yeah, the hotel. Like, so it just, to watch it, like you said, that okay, if you want to call that a loving long-term relationship, then that's how he operates in that. And you're going to say that there's no coercion at all.
Yeah.
The threat of violence is coercion.
100%.
Like, of course she's afraid that that's going to happen to her again.
At a base level, right? Like, no one likes fear tactics. No one likes to be manipulated by their fears, but we can do it because we know it works. It's a very basic instinct for all humans to be able to be manipulated by their fears. Because if you're afraid you're about to die, if you're afraid you're about to get hurt, your natural instinct, your body's survival mode is going to say whatever we got to do to not do that.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. And it also demonstrates that his defense is like, well, you're charging him with this or that, or you're saying that he's a flight risk, or you're saying, blah, 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 like the contacting witnesses or whatever.
Yeah.
We told you guys, that was a whoopsie, basically, because he's like, well, I didn't know I couldn't contact people that I knew.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
and when you think about it with the Kim Porter book of his close associates dying around him when shit goes down, again, maybe it's not an authorized book, but what she's saying fits the bill.
Yeah.
And if she wrote this, she did it before he died, which was way before any of this shit came out.
Yeah. And he's contacting people who he knows have been subpoenaed.
Yep.
Who he's not spoken to in
years.
Yeah. So what other...
Yeah.
You're pulling some, like, Whitey Bulger shit. Like, what else are you contacting them for? Of course you're contacting them
to check in.
Yeah.
See how you're doing.
And even if you just say, I'm just trying to check in, that, with his history of violence, is a threat.
Yeah.
Just checking in. Yeah. I remember.
Just wanted to see how you're doing. How's your family? How are your kids?
Exactly.
Do you still live in the same house? If not, where do you live now?
I saw a clip of him on the Wendy Williams show. She has always had, I think, feelings about him and has known some shit about him and stuff like that. But he was on her show and he says, I just really want to thank you for what you do because, you're one of the first ones to really, like, report on the, the culture and, like, blah, 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 whatever. And then he goes, oh, and I saw your son backstage. And he's such a nice kid. Like, something like you did a good job with him or something like that. And she's like, oh, really? And she makes this face. Yeah. She gets visibly uncomfortable about him being like, and I saw your son backstage. I was like, that's a threat. That's a threat.
Don't like it. Well, okay, so we keep talking about him not getting bail and stuff too. I don't remember what all of the charges were, but listening to the Vial Files and what's her name? I can never remember.
Emily Baker.
I was like, EDB. I know that. What's the Baker? She was talking about the different charges, and she did do criminal law, or maybe she still does. I don't know, right? Yeah, she was a trial attorney because she worked in LA County. Yes. So was she a prosecutor?
I believe she was a prosecutor.
Okay. So I'm sure she's had tons of experience. But she kept bringing up because the Vial Files, they're like, why are they denying him bail? Like, he's not outwardly a violent criminal, but one of the charges, and again, I can't remember which one, has a presumption of no bail. Yes. So they automatically assume that if you did this specific thing, we're not going to let you out. And maybe it's the RICO charge, one of those RICO charges, because the only reason you're going to be indicted with a RICO charge is because you are the leader. Yes. And so if we let you out and now you know what we're after you for, what do you think you're going to do?
And he's like, well, but I'm trying to sell my plane and I won't go near my... I mean, he's got his own plane. Like, so he's turned over his passport. Yeah. And he turned over his passport, but it's like, if you have a private jet, can't you... You could maneuver your way around,
Diddy money, I'm sure you can...
Exactly.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Did you see the videos of when he dressed up as the Joker?
Oh, shit. No. Is it wild?
It's insane. Oh. So he went maybe this past Halloween as the Joker.
Dark Knight Joker or Joaquin Phoenix?
No, Dark Knight Joker.
Okay. He looked the best Joker.
Yes. He looked more like the Joker than Heath Ledger looked like the Joker.
Oh, my God.
It was insane. I mean, obviously, again, Diddy money. He had all the stuff or whatever. You could not tell in any way, shape, or form that Diddy was under there at all.
That's crazy.
But his behavior was freaky. He, like, got into character. He was doing this weird thing with his voice. He was, like, doing this creepy fucking laugh.
Oh,
He's,
God.
like, walking down the street. It was really weird. Well, anyway, he's terrorizing people that are walking down the street. Like, he's terrorizing everybody, and he's got his whole, like, entourage with him or whatever, his bodyguard and all that kind of stuff. Well, he runs into young guy. I didn't know who he was, but he runs up on him, and I guess this guy gets he got pissed, and so they start getting into, like, a verbal altercation. But Diddy is staying in his Joker character. Oh. And it's very unsettling. And then finally at one point he drops the character and starts, and they're going at it. Yeah. And they never do end up in a physical altercation. And then at some point he finds out that it's Diddy, and they kind of squash it there or whatever. But you have to watch the video of him being Joker. It's insane.
Okay, well, I'll have to look that up.
It is terrifying.
That is terrifying.
And to me, if you can... I mean, honestly, like, if he...
Like, were you playing a character? Or are you playing a character every day?
It was crazy. I mean, honestly, I don't know why he has not played in movies if he can get that into character. It was scary to me.
That is scary.
It was really creepy.
Oh, you know who else has made comments now that when you look back on it, you're like, was he talking about Diddy? Cat Williams.
Oh my gosh.
Have you seen the clips of him talking about? It's my favorite Cat Williams special, the one where he's in the green suit.
It's like 2004
oh my God,
or
yes.
something.
If you haven't watched it, it's the best thing on the planet.
That is my favorite Cat Williams.
And Cat Williams went crazy too, remember?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But
Dave Chappelle. Yep.
Dave Chappelle also went crazy. But did they? Anyway, there's a clip in that special of him talking about Hollywood parties, and he's talking about mansion parties, and you see people you didn't think you'd see, and it makes you question stuff.
They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party.
It sounds exactly like a Diddy party.
He doesn't name names.
No.
And he doesn't call anybody out for being there. He doesn't say who the host is. He doesn't even get into detail about the things that happen, but you see him, the way he talks about it and the way he tees up the whole thing, and it's funny.
It is. It's very funny.
But you're also like, huh.
Yeah. And if you look at some of Diddy's old interviews where he talks about his parties or whatever, there was an interview that he did on Conan where Conan is like very visibly
uncomfortable,
super uncomfortable, because so they're talking and he's like talking about his parties, and he's talking about how you keep ladies at your party, and he's like,
yes,
you know, if you don't have the kind of alcohol they want, or that's why you got to have everything.
Need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
And then he's like, and you got to have it no AC. You got to have it real hot in there. And he says, why would you need to keep it hot? Because something like, because women get cold or something like that. He's like, no, it affects the alcohol.
Yeah.
That was concerning.
Yeah.
And then everybody gets a sweat on. You get more comfortable. You get more loose.
You start taking your clothes off.
Start taking stuff
off.
off.
I mean, you know, when you drink a lot, you feel hot anyway, even though you're not, which is how a lot of people end up dying of hypothermia, even when it's not super cold out, because you feel hot. And so you'll start shedding layers. Like, I think when we go back and we look at these clips of Diddy in interviews, we are seeing him hide in plain sight, and we just didn't know it. He's literally telling you the formula for his parties on national television,
because it's one of those, like, it's
because he
so
laughs
crazy
about it. Yeah.
It couldn't possibly, you know, like, he wouldn't say it out loud if it was true. I'm putting locks on doors. Well, he is. He's forcing people to be on drugs, and then he's having IVs come the next day for them to recover from all the drugs or whatever. And then in one interview, he was talking about his parties, and he was like, people don't know about my parties, and like they don't know what to do with it, and if they knew what was going on, or he said something about like,
you're gonna hear about my parties, they're gonna be shutting them down, they're gonna probably be arresting me.
20 years ago, something crazy.
But he says it in a joking way. Like, he plays it off like, oh, my parties are so fun, I'm going to get arrested for having fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he always framed it up like that. So you were always like, I don't know if you're joking or not. Or like if you're just being funny. Also, we talked about, we had a Kesha reference earlier, Wake Up in the Morning Feeling Like P. Diddy. When that song first came out, I distinctly remember being like, if I woke up in the morning, and again, this song came out forever ago, so this is before we knew anything about him. I remember thinking, if I woke up in the morning and felt like P. Diddy, I've had a shit night. Please kill me. Why would I ever want to wake up in the morning and be like, I feel like P. Diddy today. Ugh. And especially now. Yuck.
Ooh, yikes. Yeah. I never put any thought into that whatsoever. I was just like,
oh, no, I did. As soon as
I got my glasses out.
I'm about to hit this city.
But have you heard her new
remix?
Lyric?
Yeah.
I could not love her more. She changed it too.
She's been through it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But now we sing, we wake up in the morning like, fuck P. Diddy.
I like love her for that.
I love her for everything.
Yeah.
She's local to us.
She is. She's from Franklin.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and she worked at, she was on Simple Life with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. Yeah.
Nice.
But bringing it full circle, the reach of Diddy is wild.
There are so many people that
have pictures with him that are now like, I didn't know anything about that. Like, I just met him at, you know, an event and took a picture and whatever.
Yeah, but like, also, everything you read about it right now is like the mogul.
I wonder if he's, I mean, obviously we know his reach is just insane. Is he, every time someone, not every time someone speaks out against him, but every time someone speaks out and speaks the truth about him, do you think that he's orchestrating their downfall?
Yes. I mean, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Even if it's not through like sexual abuse or violence or whatever, like.
Yeah, but even so, if she was on drugs or whatever,
Yeah.
what do we know about what do we know about the way Diddy operates? Cassie talks about this in her lawsuit too, that he kept her plied with drugs, which then led to a substance abuse problem. And once you have a substance abuse problem, you're discredited.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. Shouldn't be that way.
No, it
but
shouldn't.
that's how it is. So it's like, oh, okay, well, but she, you know, blah, 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 whatever. Like, so it's possible. Again, allegedly, it's possible that he started that. I don't know, but yeah, there's all kinds of people coming out of the woodwork. Like,
this is like a Scott Peterson situation where I hope that I'm wrong. It turns out in the Scott Peterson thing, I still don't think I'm wrong. But I hope that we're very wrong and that none of this actually happened. I don't want the people coming forward to be considered liars or discredited ever. But I also like this is
reality.
Horrific.
Yeah, what a dark
like if
reality.
This is true, how awful.
And how easy it's been for him for years to every time something comes out for him to be like, that's just somebody. I completely deny those horrific allegations that somebody just looking for a quick payday.
Yeah. They're looking for a quick payday or their career's ending. And so now they're trying to, they weren't as successful as they thought they were going to be, but that's not my fault.
And now we got tapes.
Yeah. I want to hear the tapes.
Oh, we got tapes.
Yeah.
And he even recorded.
Tapes that he made.
Yes, he even recorded himself, at least one of the victims, talking to her, him and somebody else, talking to her to create a narrative of, here's how we can explain this away. And he recorded that. You dipshit.
Yeah. Again, this is another time where I'm like, criminals are so fucking dumb. Thank God. Thank God. Because at this point, up until this point, he has been a very sophisticated criminal, right? Like, he's gotten away with this for so freaking long that you have to think like, oh, this dude's a genius.
Yep.
And then you start digging into it and you're like, well, thank God he's not.
Yeah.
Because if he was, we maybe never would have known.
Exactly. Also, now this is a stretch.
Oh, I love it.
But what do we know about cult leaders? They record everything.
Yes, they do. We did an episode about it.
So that's a lot of recording for somebody who's...
It is a lot of recording.
Not trying to be like a weird cult guy.
It's a lot of recording, and I'm going to compare it a little bit in some ways to Scientology because it's a lot of money, it's a lot of power, it's a lot of manipulation, and it's a lot of recording.
Yep.
I think he did it.
Yeah.
Well, only time will tell how this shakes out, if these allegations were allegedly done or actually done. And we'll talk to you about it when it comes out, yeah?
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah. So, thanks for coming to the watch party.
Yeah. Love you.
Watch Diddy. Watch out for him for sure.
Yes, watch out. Goodness.
And if the Netflix, if the 50 Cent documentary comes out, we're covering it. I'm putting it on our calendar. I don't care what you say.
Yes. No. We have to.
Whether you like it or not, it's happening.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait. All right. Well, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.